Hey guys, what is up? Manish over here, and the cards are out, and today I'm going to teach you how to do the this and that card trick. So if you haven't seen the trick yet, please do so. I'll put a link in the description. So the first part of the trick, I guess, is making the three cards. Okay, what you can do is you can buy a blank deck, but frankly, I just couldn't be bothered going out and buying one, and I couldn't really find one either. So what I did was I made the blank cards myself, and it's actually very easy to do so. Let me tell you how I did it. So what I did was I took some iron wool, okay, and I just scrubbed the cards over and over again until all the ink kind of faded away. And it's just so much easier if you use cards that don't have much ink on them, like the ace of clubs, or just any aces or any twos, any threes. They have very little ink on them. So that's that. It's very simple. And then what I did was I let it dry, and then I just used a Sharpie and wrote the words on the cards. It is as simple as that. Now, for the actual trick, let's get started. The first most important part of the trick is that the order of the cards. Okay, so the order of the cards itself, there are two parts to it, and the first part is that the other card is on top, this card is underneath, and that card is on the bottom. And by the way, there are just three cards, just saying, because after I did this trick to many of my friends, they always said that, you know, there were two of this cards, four of that cards, three of this cards, and I sneaked in the other card during the trick or something. It's nothing like that. It's just the three cards. That is all you need to do this trick, and that is pretty much one of my favorite things of this trick. It is just so clean, and I guess that's why it's very strong. Okay, so the first part of the trick is the other card is on top, this card is second, and that card is the one on the bottom. The second part of the order is that which side is facing where. So the other card must be facing away from you. So meaning that the O on the other must be facing away from you. Okay, that's that. And don't ask why, that's just how the trick works. Okay, so the other card faces away from you. Okay. And on the second card, the T faces towards you. So right now the T is facing towards me, and that is how it's supposed to be. Okay. Same thing with the other. The other is facing away from me because I'm over here. You see, I'm over here. Can you see my thumb? Yeah, I'm over here. And the other is facing away from me. Okay. I'm over here. The T is facing towards me. And in that, the T must face, right now it's facing away from me. It's facing towards me now. Okay, it's as simple as that. The reason why you have to do it in this order is so that it's easier for the audience to read, because if it was the other way around, so suppose I flip the cards over right now, suppose I flip it over, and if I just show them this card, it kind of looks like, it just doesn't look good because it is the right card, it's just the opposite way, it's the other way around. So if I just flip it over again, that was a double lift by the way, if you haven't figured it out. So you flip it over and, okay? Now, the very first move of this trick is the double lift. Okay, and this is one of the most widely used techniques in card magic, to be honest. It's pretty much in about 70% of the card tricks I do has a double lift or something like it somewhere in the trick. You know, it might not be, the whole trick might not be based on the double lift, but somewhere or the other, it's just somewhere there. Okay, so that is how awesome this trick is. If you don't know what it is, well, I'll put a link in the description, or just click over here, somewhere here. Yeah, just click over there, and yeah, that'll take you. That link will take you to a tutorial on how to do the double lift. What it does is it shows the second card from the top as the top card. Okay, so that is why we use a double lift over here. So let's get started. The way how I get a double lift over here is I catch a pinky break. I catch a pinky break right over there underneath the second card. Okay, so I catch it right over there. So there's one card underneath over here, and there's two cards on top of the pinky over there. So that allows you to flip over two cards. Okay. Another way you could do it is a buckle. Now what you do is you just hold it in a normal mechanics grip, and then you move over the index finger to the side and to the bottom, and what you do is you just kind of curl it in. You just curl the index finger in Oh, that was a very bad buckle. But you curl the index finger in by applying some pressure with your thumb and some reverse or just opposite pressure with your index finger. And what that does is that just kind of makes a small curve on the bottom card. You could also do this with like a whole deck of cards, but over here you don't need to. This is completely used for a different purpose over here. In this particular trick, the buckle is used so you can catch a pinky break for the double lift. And in other tricks with whole decks of cards, you catch a pinky break, so maybe you could palm the card later. So the purpose for this buckle is particularly for the double lift, only for a trick involving 3 cards. Okay, so I frankly prefer the buckle. It's just a lot easier. It takes a bit of practice to keep these 2 cards aligned, but yeah, it's very strong and clean. Okay, so first move, buckle, pinky break, and you flip over the 2 cards like they won. Okay, so and then what you say is this card is on the top. This card is on top, because it looks like you're flipping the top card over. And if you're familiar with the story, it'll be like a guy came up to the street the other day with 3 playing cards, and he told me there's this card, and you flip it over, and you just flip over 1 card, there's this card, and there's that card. Okay, that is the first part of the trick. Now, the next part of the trick, according to the story, is that the guy told me to keep a close eye on that card, which is on top. Okay, and as he told me that, he moved it to the bottom, and I saw him do that. Now, what's going on over here is that you catch another pinky break by doing a buckle, just like so. And what you do is you hold the top 2 cards. Oh, by the way, the audience can't see the buckle, so if you're scared to do so, just don't worry about it, because at the right angle, at this angle over here, if you do the buckle, they're just not going to see anything. Okay, now that, frankly, it's nothing wrong with that. That's it, that's done. Right over there, I actually don't have anything right now. Okay, but now I do. It is as simple as that. It is just so easy to get to do the buckle and catch a small break there. Okay, so you just catch a buckle, and then you grab the 2 cards and you place it to the bottom. Okay, and you make it look like it's 1 card. It's as simple as that. Now you've got to be very careful to not do an undercut, because I actually did this when I first did the trick. So what I used to do was, I used to do this, and I used to do this. Now that is actually wrong. Well, it's not wrong, it's just it doesn't look as convincing. So I used to do that, and it actually did not look very good. So be careful not to put yourself in the habit of doing this. Okay, because that is just, it's not as convincing as doing this, as putting it in the bottom, putting that card to the bottom, rather than putting the bottom card to the top. It's more convincing. So what you do is, he put that card to the bottom, and I saw him do that. So what you do is you put both the cards to the bottom, and you make it look like it's 1, and you tell him, I saw him do that, and then I told him that that card was on the bottom. And then he said, no, that's this card. Now you should like expect that, because you know that you've put 2 cards to the bottom. So this card is actually the one right on top of that. That card is the one on top of this card. Okay? So that's the first part of this part of the story. Okay? Now you say that if this card is on the bottom, so according to the story, the thing is that if this card's on the bottom, then that card must be on top. Now what you do is, you do this move called the crystal alignment move. Okay? Let me just show you how the move is. Let me show you the move, and then I'll teach you how to do it. That's it. That is the move. And so let me tell you how it's done. Okay? I'm just placing the cards in the order they were initially, so don't worry about anything like that. Now this is how the move works. Okay? What the move does is, firstly, what it does is that it shows the bottom card to the spectator as the top card. Okay, so what you do is, the spectator thinks that you're flipping over the top card, and in a way you are, but you're actually showing them what was on the bottom. So how it works is, what you do is you take your index finger and you move the top finger back, not like that, you kind of do it like this. So you get your finger in this position over here, okay, right, like that. And then what you do is you place your thumb on the inner edge, or the inner shorter edge, because there's the longer edges and the shorter edges. You just place it on the inner shorter edge, and then what you do is you push back the top card, just like so. You push back the top card. So right now you have one card sticking out, you have the top card sticking out, and you have two cards underneath, which are aligned with each other, okay? So you push back the top card. Not too much, that's about fine. You could just experiment with it and just figure out what's ideal for you. And then what you do is you got the thumb on the inner shorter edge, you push back with the index finger, and what you do now is with the middle finger you push the middle card, the next card, down, forward. You push it forward, and you push it forward as much as you can, and it just automatically stops until your thumb touches the bottom card. Okay, so right now the top card and the bottom card are actually aligned with each other. If you can see that, the top card and the bottom card are actually aligned with each other, and that is why it's called the Christ alignment move, because this move aligns the top and bottom card with each other. Okay, so once again, just to go over that again, you push this back, you push the whole thing forward, the middle card forward, and the whole thing goes forward, and you stop until you can't go any more further, and that is the point where the top and bottom card align. Now what you do is you take the top and bottom card, okay, and you flip it over. You won't do it as slowly, but I'm just doing it for tutorial purposes. I usually do this a lot faster. And then you say that this card is also on top, and it actually looks very convincing at high speed, at normal speed. So to do it at normal speed, it would look like this. Okay, so I told him that card is on the bottom. He told me no, that's this card. And then I told him if this card is on the bottom, then that card must be on top, and this is the move. Okay, that's it. It's as easy as that. Okay, and then he says that according to the story, he said no, this card is also on top. And then right now you've got to realize that this card is on top, right? And underneath it is another card, which I guess it is the other card. Yeah. So it's the other card, and then at this point, you actually, when you flip the cards over, you can automatically catch a break underneath the two cards, and there's nothing much to it. It just naturally happens. You just catch a break as you're bringing the cards over, and then what you do is you flip both the cards over as one, and then according to the story, it's like no, this card is also in the middle. Okay, that's the story. That's just how the story goes. And then according to the story, it's wait a second, that's not fair, because you're using 3 of these cards. And then what you do is you just say no, that card's on the bottom. Because if you've been following me, you'll know that that's just how it works. There's nothing much to it. This is kind of like a self-working trick as well. As long as you do the moves correctly, this is it's pretty much a self-working trick. Okay, so that card it's on the bottom, and then the story says that wait a second, then that was just this card. Okay, so I say that was just this card, and then the other guy, he told me that wait, so was the one on top, and then you do the same move over again, the Christ alignment move. Okay, and then you show that the top card is also that card, but you're actually showing them it was actually the bottom card just a second ago. Okay, so you flip over the top and bottom card, and you show them that that card is on top, where actually once again you've got 2 cards, and then you flip it over, and then the story goes like this. That's not fair, because you're using 2 of that cards. And then he said, actually I'm using 3, and you just flip over the middle card, and it's that card. Okay, and then according to the story, once again it says that's not fair, because you're using 3 of that cards. And at this point, right over here, this card's on the bottom. Okay, this card's on the bottom. But what you do right now is you kind of flip the cards over. It's really not much. You just flip it over very, very casually. Okay, so just so that this card, it will look like it will look good. So if you don't flip it over, suppose this is how it is after I show you that card is in the middle. This is how it is, and if I show you this card, it's the other way around. So at this point of the trick, after showing that card is in the middle, okay, this is straight, after showing that card is in the middle, you just casually flip it over. Okay, this is just, you don't have to make a big thing out of this. Maybe I am right now, but yeah, it's just very, very casual. Just flip it over. And so to carry on from there, actually I'm using 3 of that cards. Okay, and then I said, wait a second, that's not fair because you're using 3 of that cards. And then he says, wait, there's this card, there's this card, and there's this card. Now, what I did over there, it's a very, very cheeky, subtle move. I actually don't know the name of this move, but it's one of my favorites, to be honest. So what happens is, you show the same card over and over again. Okay, that is just how the trick is. How this move is, sorry. You show the same card over and over again, but you show them like they're different cards. Because what you do is, you show them the bottom card, you peel off the top card. You show them the bottom card again, you peel off the top card, and you show them the bottom card again. Now, I guess I don't really know how this works. It just works. I guess it's kind of like a psychological thing, because I guess they see this card. Okay, they just see this, and then they see the back of a card, and they just automatically, the audience I'm saying, they automatically think that this is that card, because this is the first thing they associate this with. So that you show this card, bottom, the back face, you peel it off. Now right now, the audience thinks that this is this card. They think that this card has this written on it, whereas it is actually the other. Okay, so to do that again, there's this card, and there's this card. Okay, just practice that, and it's a very easy move. So just to take it from that card is in the middle. So no, that card is also in the middle. I'm using 3 that cards. You flip the cards over. Okay, this card is, so we've got this card, we've got this card, and we've got this card. Okay, now what we do is, this is the last part of the trick, right? So this is the part where we say, in life you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little bit of the other. But before we do that, we just flip the cards over one more time. Okay, we flip it over just one more time. So basically, instead of flipping it over here, because if you flip right now, it's the other way around. You see? So what you do is you flip it over, and then according to the story is that like I said, well, that's not fair because you're cheating. And he says, well, yeah, but in life sometimes you got to remember, you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and not much of the other. Now that is the whole trick. That is pretty much everything you need to know. So guys, that is the tutorial for the this and that card trick. So what I've done is I've gone over the 2 key moves, which are the double lift and the crystal diamond move. I've taught you how they work and when they come in and the order in which to do the trick, and that's pretty much it. A few tips is pretty much just practice. Don't ever do this trick without practicing enough. You know, you always have to know exactly what you're doing during the trick. And if you have any other tutorials that you want me to put up, any specific tricks that you saw on YouTube or saw somewhere and you want to know how to do it, just comment below, and preferably with a link so I know what trick you're talking about. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you a lot for watching. Practice a lot and take care.